happen, there are those who watch it happen, and there are those who wonder what did happen. And so my sincere wish for all of you is that you will be part of those who make it happen. And the retailing, since it's a $14 trillion annual business around the world, I realize it's a huge thing, but all of us play some part in that, and to move the cart forward is our goal. Okay, so I'd like to begin with, because I think sometimes people forget what makes retailing work, you know? I mean, we've got, what, 7, 8, 9 billion people on the earth. And what it basically boils down to is people have certain things that they need. Following Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I've adapted it and point out that the number one need people have is air, because you can only live a few minutes without replenishing your air supply. Number two is water, beverages, okay, which is a big part of the retail business. But you can live a few days without replenishing your water supply. You can live a few weeks without replenishing your food supply. And basically, there are no other needs. Everything else is optional in a way. Clothing, for example. I have a picture of the Tierra del Fuegos in the southern tip of South America sleeping nude in a snowbank. Okay, just to give you an example. And shelter, all of these things. But what we want to look at here is people have needs. More importantly, they have wants. Okay, and wants are very important in understanding retailing, because retailing can both be about fulfilling needs as well as fulfilling wants. And retailing actually drives a lot of the aspirations of the human race. People learn about new things, they learn about where society is going. In many cases, they learn about these things in retail establishments. And so retailing builds on the aspirations of the human race. So, and like I like to point out is that basically, if you build a store, a box, and you put stuff that people need and want in it, they'll come and get it. Okay? That's the bottom line. I know that those of us that are involved in retailing sometimes are very proud of the role that we play in this, but let's get real. People have to have this stuff, and they will come and get it. So there's competitive issues about whether they're coming and getting it from us or not. But so that's just a little bit about the basic factors driving retail. Now I want to point out there are 3 components to retailing. The first component we're going to spend a fair amount of time on, but it's important for us to trace all of these things. And the number one thing that happens in retailing is there has to come a meeting of the minds between the people who have those needs and wants and desires, okay, and the people who have the stuff. There's a mental process that goes on. That mental process, which is selling, okay, which is selling, buying, selling, whatever. The mental process is the single most important part of the retail world. And we're going to look a little bit about, well, how has this been managed over the years? Okay? Because one of the things, the title of this presentation is The Return of Personal Selling at Retail. Now, does that mean, when I say the return of personal selling at retail, that no personal selling occurs at retail today? No, that doesn't mean that, okay? But it does mean that it's largely been lost. Selling is a lost art in the retail world to a large extent, even with many multi-billion-dollar, multi-trillion-dollar companies, okay? There's not that many of those. Okay, but, and we'll see how that came about, okay? But the most important thing is something that happens in the mind of the shopper. We'll look at how selling is done today and where selling is going in the near future. And of course, something happens in the mind, there's an exchange of value or revenue, money changes hands. That's an important component, okay? And the third component is the actual delivery of the goods, products, or services, whatever it happens to be. So those are the three components that we're going to focus on, how those things, move in the retail world. And so to help you follow this a little bit, what I've done is I put up here in the corner these three circles. Because as we look at different slides and different parts of retail, you'll see that in some cases it's all about the mind, in some cases it's all about the money, in some cases it's all about the delivery. Okay? So we're going to look at those three things somewhat distinctly. So backing up a bit here, I want to go back to, say, a medieval marketplace. We're representing a medieval marketplace, and you can see here are the sellers, here are the buyers, okay, here's the merchandise, and here we have an exchange of goods that's occurring. And so this is retailing historically, and various varieties of this have gone on for many thousands of years. This is an example of from the American frontier of the summer rendezvous. And the rendezvous was a place where the trappers and the traders and a lot of other people got together, the Indians and so on, and it was a major event, almost like a fair. But the reason I'm showing you this is not because we've already covered that with the medieval marketplace, but to point out that also these are major entertainment venues. A lot of entertainment went on. Horse races, various contests of one type or another, and of course there's always lots of food to eat and that sort of thing. And here's where furs were traded, people got their supplies for the coming year, etc., etc. But this is an example of how